Welcome to New Dexter. Who dis?
Who dis?
We're gonna start this next episode. Call Me Red. I feel like it's got some good actors.
Yep.
Yep.
I think this is where we're gonna find out a lot more about Uma Thurman. Because you've been curious about that character this whole time.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot going on in the story. Like, there's a lot of side quests. I feel like I'm not sure exactly which one to focus on. Right? Is it focus on Dexter? Do I focus on Harrison? Do I focus on Uma Thurman? There's just a lot going on that I'm interested to see. If this is going to give us more focus.
All right, it's just gonna tie them all together. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, yeah. All right, let's get into it. So, what did we think of the murderer's dinner? Was it flat to you?
I mean, it's just corny. I don't know. It's fine. It's an interesting take on the thing. I don't know. I guess this is what happens when you have to stretch out something, right?
Yeah.
This feels a lot more like, how do we make something Dexter themed versus the Dexter story? But we never read the books, and I wonder how much of this stuff actually takes place in any of the books. And I remember hearing that the books were actually more supernatural at a certain point too. So I don't know where their inspiration's coming from.
Okay.
It's all right. It's neat. It's kind of fun. I feel like this is, again, back into the fanfic sort of thing, which is, funny to say about a show that's fic to begin with.
Yeah.
But it's neat. It feels like it's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The more that we watch the original series of Dexter, it feels like we're learning about this character. It feels like that he's trying to figure out his way in the world. We're learning about these other serial killers, and then this just feels like we're gonna have a dinner party with a bunch of serial killers. We're gonna have a fake Gacy. We're gonna have a fake, But
I mean, I guess they have to create the new biggest bad monster, right? For Dexter, there's always some big killer that he's trying to go after. So in this sense, there being the threat of don't go against the group or else Uma Thurman's going to come after you.
Yeah, I don't think I got a good feeling about where they're going with it in general. Not it made me feel bad, but the I don't kind of see what the direction is. If he starts to pick off everyone that is invited there because those are his justifiable kills.
Yeah.
And then he kills Dinklage.
I mean,
it doesn't feel like a big positive resolution either, right? Because
Dinklage isn't actually a killer, so he would go against the code if he did, right?
I mean, he's gotten a little wonky with his code at times. I'm just saying, where does it go from there, right? Because at a certain point, if he starts killing everybody, well, it's not going to take too long to figure out the one new guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know where we're going with it, because it feels like, oh, here's a way for him to get to see all these people without being part of the police force.
Yeah. But
on the second note, it's a little too confined for it to make a lot of sense to me. So I guess we just see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, so we just finished Call Me Red episode.
Yep.
It was a little slower moving than I was expecting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot in there. You were talking about how a lot of it seems really vague and you want to get to know some of these characters more, and they really slammed a lot in there in that regard.
Yeah. We've got the meeting of all the serial killers, which, I mean, Dexter's fighting with Harry, because, of course, he wants that camaraderie in a sense, but then he also doesn't because, he was the lone wolf, right? And it's not like he hasn't killed with other people before.
I think they're overusing Harry. We used to get Harry in little spurts here and there, little times when he was particularly struggling, but I feel like he wasn't nearly as present as he is in this series. And I feel like we used to get more Dexter narration during stuff.
Yeah.
And we're getting conversation with Harry after stuff about how he felt.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just, the balance on that is a little different.
Well, I think it's because in the past, Dexter's been usually, like, very aware of what he's doing almost. Mm-hmm. And I felt like Harry used to be the one that it was just, like, in those moments of reflection, where now that's all Dexter has because he has absolutely no one in his life.
Could be.
Like, yes, he has this, new family he's staying with, in a sense, but, like, not really. He doesn't know. They don't know him at all. Mm-hmm. He hasn't even created this, like, much of a fake life. I mean,
yeah.
So I think there's really nothing grounding him there. I feel like maybe Harry's just the only thing that he has.
Yeah, and he's not really talking to anybody else, too. And I guess what you used to see is, like, he would talk to Deb, and then he would, in his mind, think something.
Right.
Right? So she would be like, oh, this, that, and the other thing. He'd be like, if only she knew this and that, or,
or just the idea of dealing with coworkers, right? He doesn't even have that now. If he's just an Uber driver, like, that's it. He can't really even talk to the customers. I mean...
Yeah, I guess that's true. We really don't have much for any kind of transitional conversation with him at all because he is so isolated.
Yes. So I think... I think he's not doing well with that isolation, and that's where these new friends, this is me, is kind of coming from.
Yeah. Well, because I was trying to figure out if we were overusing Harry, or I see what you're saying about because he's so kind of alone, but then that might insinuate the more we see Harry, the more insane he might be going, right? You know what I mean? Like, if he's starting to have to get by with invisible friends and conversations, that could be an indication that he's losing his mind. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a writing mechanism because we don't have those conversations with other characters. Right. And they're like, well, fuck, put him in there with Harry and they'll talk it out,
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was tough, right? When you think about what is he going to come back to, what kind of life and profession is he going to have? One that would allow him to, like, be a fly on the wall and recreate himself quickly.
Yeah.
Right? If it's not going to be law enforcement, because you're going to open up that can of worms.
No.
Yeah, so that's interesting, but I'm glad that we're finally getting to, it ending with Dexter finally confronting Harrison so that they could figure it out, because Harrison's kind of losing it. And, he's not technically a serial killer, right? Because he's only killed 2 times? It hasn't even been, isn't it like 3 times and then that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, typically.
Okay.
It's something along those lines. So I think he's technically on the verge of being a serial killer.
Yes.
That we know of.
Right.
Like I said,
and he has a lot of back and forth. It's not like, when Dexter, when he was going through it, that he even had second thoughts, right? He was very much, this is what I'm doing, gonna continue. Like, he didn't have this back and forth that Harrison's going through.
Yeah.
Harrison's having a real, I don't know, discussion with himself.
Killed twice in New Blood?
There was the
one they killed together.
Right. The together one. He didn't actually...
He didn't do it.
It was together, so if you want to count that as one. And then this guy who was out of rage.
And technically he thought he killed Dexter.
Right.
But
he didn't.
And that wasn't ceremonial at all.
And even when Dexter was going back and forth with Harry and say, what if Harrison doesn't want me in his life? Look, he shot me. And it's like, you told him to. You told him aim right here, and you were instructing him. So, like, I wouldn't really count that as one. But
well, he also didn't succeed, right?
Right, he didn't succeed.
I was just trying to remember in New Blood. I could have sworn there was a death before Dexter figured it out and was like, hey, let me teach you the ways. You almost got caught or some shit. Like, because didn't they bury and burn one shittily?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just... But either way, semantical, he's either on the verge of becoming a serial killer with purpose or turning himself in relatively early in the serial killing concept,
But yeah, we still don't love the lead cop, right?
Detective Wallace, she's awful.
I don't need her backstory. I wish I cared about her, but I kind of don't. But it was cool for her and Batista to finally connect because, you know, Batista's trying to connect the dots. He's trying to convince Harrison to open up. Harrison's not giving him anything, which you got to wonder, all right, is he just not trying to implicate himself? Is he trying to somehow protect Dexter? Like, I'm not 100% sure of Harrison's motives because he just keeps kind of going back and forth with his emotions, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, I like everything going on with Batista. I like him a lot. I like what he's doing. I think the Harrison stuff has been pretty solid. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just a different show. And it has a different tone, has a different feeling.
Right.
And I suppose it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, if I kind of like scope back a little bit, it's a fun show. It just doesn't give you the same feeling as watching the original series. And I don't know. I think maybe that's just the fact that we've been rewatching it that makes me hopeful for it. I mean, like, this feels different. Well, it is different. It's a different show, you know. So
yeah,
we could probably be a little more lenient. I think I could be, but I mean,
yeah, it's good. It's just getting used to, like you said, the whole feel of it. The feel is very different. And I know you were saying that you saw some people mention how it was getting a little like away from being as dark.
Yeah, I saw a review that was talking about how it's not as dark as previous iterations, and they've already gotten away from being as dark from New Blood and all that. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little feeling like it's getting a little Star Wars like. You know what I mean? Where it's all like every iteration is different than the last, and eventually it feels disconnected
From the original.
Yeah. I mean, we're not the only ones. I know a few other people who've stopped watching anything Star Wars.
Yeah, of course.
Have Star Wars tattoos like me, where it's like, it's just not the same anymore. You know, it's just not, it's just so different. And so I don't think that it's there yet. I don't think this Dexter is my Andor. I mean, I even saw someone review Andor as such a good Star Wars show because it's basically a detective show set in the universe of Star Wars and it has nothing to do with Star Wars. And I was like, that sounds so weird, but at the same time, people like it. So,
and I'm sorry, I forgot his name, the character's name, but Peter Dinklage, playing this very wealthy guy that just likes collecting serial killer trophies.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm just not sure where I see him fitting in to be the host and finding these serial killers to, like, I don't know, kind of
I think it's just a resource thing.
Be a fly on the wall. I kind of would see if he's more like of a criminal and he's just finds black market stuff and, you know, like he's already seedy. But to me, like, I'm not getting that he's even seedy. I mean, he's just wealthy.
Yeah. Well, there's some interesting bits about him. Like, he's big charity guy for the police force.
Right.
He mentioned getting the Bay Harbor butcher slides from an old drunk Miami detective who had a gambling problem. Is that Joey?
I'm guessing it had to be Joey.
It's gotta be
Joey,
right?
was the one that was always going off the rails.
Yeah.
And that would make sense if after Deb dies and then Dexter disappears and is thought to be dead, like if he's just like, I want everything out of my life that reminds me of them, like I could see that.
Sure, but that's not like something he would have had in his apartment. He would have had to have stolen that from the evidence locker.
Yeah, which, is reasonable, right? But I just don't know how I see this character. And then Uma Thurman is like the backup, right? She's the muscle, which is kind of funny to me. Oh, okay.
I mean, she's badass. I don't think she couldn't be, but it is kind of funny, however, he rings a bell and she's there kind of a deal, you know? It's kind of like, all right, well. We don't know much about her background and what makes her so useful, other than the fact that we see what she's doing that's useful. Like, how did she get that way? But maybe it's not important. Maybe that's too much backstory. I don't know.
Sure.
But I do think the Dinklage character is interesting. I want to know where they filmed his house, because it feels like
something on Columbus or off, like something in that area.
Well, the shot they had driving up was right around the Central Park area, the Columbus Circle kind of area is what it looked like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that kind of a safe... I mean, it's also not to say that you couldn't have any of that, right? Like, I mean,
Right.
those are wealthy apartments. I've never been in them, but it makes me wonder: is it
Right.
actually there, or do they find a really cool spot in on the beach, Long Island, or something, Hamptons? You know, like that felt like a
Yeah.
Hamptons mansion and not like a
It's-
New York apartment.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm just
I can
curious,
I
you know.
can suspend belief. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that ruined any of it, but from a filming perspective, I'm all like, I wonder where they filmed that. Is that actually like an apartment that's like that? Similar. I mean, obviously, some of that would have to be cut up, right? But
Right.
I'm just curious where that was filmed, because it just, as I'm watching, I was like, this looks like an upstate mansion. What's going on? You know, and maybe, look, like I said, I haven't been in a lot of those high-rise apartments that are over there, or even like those old classic ones, and that's kind of the area where John Lennon used to live, and
Yep, that area.
you know, so
That's
it's kind of like,
what I was thinking of in that area. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right over there. So I don't know. I've never been in John Lennon's apartment. I don't know how extravagant it was or how extravagant it wasn't. You know, so.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
his character's really interesting. It does seem a little, I mean, convenient at times, but
Yeah.
he's neat.
And then Dexter kind of trying to almost falling for what's her name? The female
Miss Vengeance.
Miss Vengeance, right? I don't know. And, you know, is he going to go after her? Because it seems like she does have a code. She is going after, you know, attackers. So we don't know if we think that he's going to.
I get the impression
Pause.
they're going to play off of the fact that I think that they're going to be a relationship, an item.
Okay.
Because I do think she has a code. I think her code is very similar to his code in a lot of ways. And I think that the struggle is going to be that he can't be open about who he really is to her
Sure.
until eventually he can, right? At some point, it's going to be all like, look, I'm lying about being red. I'm Bear Butcher, but hey, I got a code. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that'll play out at some point too. Maybe not even for a season or two, but I think that's where that's headed. And I'm okay with that. I think it's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't really know what that means for Peter Dinklage's character, just because like he's not a murderer himself.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do with him, right? If he keeps going after, well, we can't have anyone that breaks my rules. Okay, well then what are you gonna do with him?
Yeah,
Right?
and I'm glad that they brought that up. You know what I mean? Like the same as everything we just said, where it's like, well, he's the new guy, and if they all start popping off,
Right.
it's going to look pretty suspicious. And then, you know,
It does.
minutes after we said that, he says that. Dexter says that out loud. Oh, yeah, it'll if I'm the new guy and they're popping off, it's going to point the finger. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then-
I'll think of something. Like,
yeah. So I'm glad that they're not ignoring the obvious, that they are working it in there.
although it's interesting to hear Dexter just kind of say like, "Oh, I'll think of something," because like I feel like in the past he's always had ideas, or he's always had like, I could do A, B, C, or D. You know, like he's had ideas before acting on something.
He's also not in control the way he used to be in control.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He had stability in all those other things. He can do all these other things. This one, he's in a very unstable position by most regards.
Yeah.
And he's very much at the whim of everything else. And he's still learning as he's going about even...
That's true.
He didn't even know how long it was going to take him to get to Queens. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, he's learning his environment. He's learning the place. He's learning about this serial killer luncheon thing. Like, I think it would make sense that he wouldn't know what to do next, but he's just counting on his ability to think fast.
Do you think, I just thought of this, knowing what he knows about this secret serial killer society, do you think he could use that as leverage if the cops ever got to him, saying, "Hey, I've got access to these huge, you know, these people, these serial killers."
No,
No?
think,
Okay.
I mean, even from like for one, if he gets caught and he's in jail, what kind of Hannibal Lecter story are we telling at that point? You know what I mean? The show's about Dexter, so I don't see them going to the point of him actually getting caught and negotiating.
Okay.
But I would say from just a crime perspective, if they know you've killed 30 people and you know where other serial killers are, the best you're going to get is a delay of execution, not even a stay of execution.
Okay.
Most likely.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And even then, yeah, again, the best case is, all right, well, we won't execute you.
Okay.
You're either going to, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
he wouldn't get away with anything. You know?
I think I just think of New Blood, where, he was behind bars briefly.
Yeah. And he shot himself out of it.
Well, but also he said, hey, come go look it over here. Go check this out. And just kind of,
because he was trying to frame that other guy.
Sure.
So at that point, it was all like, look, it wasn't me. You got the wrong guy. Go over here and you'll see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to frame the other guy because the other guy was a killer. And so
sure.
If they could just wrap it all up together, that'd be nice. But this would be a whole thing where you're insinuating that he gets caught and then says, but there's all those guys.
And try to frame.
It's different.
Okay.
You couldn't have framed them.
Okay. All right.
At this point, they know who he is,
All right. Well, I mean, I'm still interested in where this is going. I really want to see how the Harrison-Dexter relationship moves forward. Because Harrison just seems like one big ball of, like, emotion. Like, he just seems so, like a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
So he's all over the place. He's really unpredictable to me.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more interested in that story.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how Dexter handles Harrison in that way. Helps him, coaches him.
Right. Because I really felt like Dexter didn't even really get to explain himself. Like, even when he did try to connect, right, in the last, in New Blood, he didn't share everything that I think he should have.
Well, and also at the time, Harrison hadn't killed yet. And so now Harrison's killed and chopped up bodies and done this stuff and is hiding from the police. And at this point, they have a little bit more in common. So maybe Dexter's willing to go a little bit further.
Okay.
Well,
let us know what you guys think of this episode and how you're liking the show. Hopefully we're not being too harsh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun show. It just, it's fun to me. It's funny to me that, like, the amount of times we watch the show and go, oh, this will be fun. Oh, that's a fun little thing. Where when we watch the old series, it's kind of like, oh, shit. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, what an insane thing.
Right,
like, it was so much more intense. And this
Yeah.
one feels so much more lighter.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that's the goal. Is just like, hey, let's just do a fun Dexter.
Light. Okay.
Yeah, light version where you're in New York and we'll play songs all the time. And you just kind of go, all right, it's fun. Like,
It's fine. It's fine. But, yeah, let us know what you guys think. And thanks for tuning in.
taking a stab at it.
Taking a stab at it.